So there is a time in our lives when a loved one comes to us with news of their fate. I'm going to meet my future husband. Am I going to meet my future husband or overseas, or avoid eating shellfish this week? He'll get sick, and sometimes they come true. But the true question is, how can someone hold this magic power? And what is a psychic reading all about? So we're going to talk to this. Now, first of all, we have to cover the basics of everything. First, you ask, what is a psychic medium reading? The answer is quite simple. A psychic medium reading is when someone with a psychic gift taps into people's energy and leans about their past, present, and or future. So if you are wondering what is a cold reading in a psychic reading, know that a cold reading gives the impression that the medium can discern personal information about a client. That is a cold reading. It's cold because it doesn't depend on any previous knowledge about the client. Instead, the psychic uses observations of the client's behavior and characteristics over a series of guesses, and they are based on deduction. So basically they put everything together. That is what is a cold reading. But great, now what we know about these questions. Another popular query is, what is a psychic energy reading? Many people ask that, what is a psychic energy reading? And in the scientific world, we measure energy with joules, but for psychic energy, we throw all that out the window. So you can't put science and psychic together. Psychic energy is a non-measurable, but it is an important aspect of an accurate psychic reading. Now, the other thing that we also need to understand is the psychic doesn't read your mind here. Instead, they observe what energy, in other words, aura, because that is what energy is, radiates from you to see in its absence. So whether it's weakened or blocked because of constraints or limitations. You may also want to know or wonder, what is the difference between a tarot reading and a psychic tarot reading? This is an interesting thing. So tarot readings involve a deck of 78 cards that fall under a primary aspect of human life, which are emotional, spiritual, and intellectual. And also don't forget the physical part of it. So the 56 other cards are split into 4 suits, such as the pentacles, the wands, swords, and cups. These support the major ones and help convey a message. The main difference is that anyone can do a tarot reading, whereas a psychic tarot reading means that the psychic has their own reading method and can read the connected energies or connected readings regarding their client. Also, the psychic can refer to readings to uncover, the present, the future, and the past, or if you want to call it, past predictions. How to prepare for a psychic reading? Here are tips on how to get the most out of your psychic reading. Important. So, the first and most important thing is you must keep an open mind, regardless of whether you're a skeptic or a believer. You must be open to what you hear. Try not to expect how the reading will progress. Obviously, as the psychic may discuss matters you haven't even thought about or think that will happen in the reading. That usually tends to happen. So, if you have a specific idea in mind, receiving the reading with an open heart, know what type of reading you want. Now, as we've covered the ground rules of if it's still something you want to pursue, then think about what you want from the psychic reading. Also important to understand that psychic readers cover a range of work. For example, some can connect with loved ones in the spiritual world, while others choose not to. But the most common type of readings are love readings, past life analysis, dream analysis interpretation or analytics, tarot card readings, spiritual readings. But remember, before you book a reading, double check that the psychic has, what experience they have in the area that you want, so whether it's love, relationship, whatever. Finding out through the word of mouth is a great way to find dependable psychic. So don't be afraid to ask your friends or relatives, even though if they don't believe it, it's something very important. You can also browse the internet like we all do, and that's how we reached Orhanum, finding legit tested psychics on Orhanum. Or you can also call to see if they're a right fit for you or not. Let them know before you book your reading. Let them know what you are looking for, whether these responses aligns with your expectations. It is also important for you to prepare your questions before you go into a psychic reading. There are often a reason you're considering a psychic reading, whether it's love, whether it's whatever it is. To maximize your time with the psychic, compile a list of questions and make them as specific as possible. Don't shoot questions into the air, okay? That's where cold readings come from. It will not benefit you if you offer vague questions. Psychics will end up answering your questions, even if you don't ask them directly. But, many times we go to readings, but you've answered all my questions. So that is something that you also should have a look at. So to get a better reading, get all your questions in place. So, for example, you can ask... Let's use a few examples. The first one, for instance, what new information would the universe want me to know about my love life? That is an example. Let's quickly have a look at another example. What guidance do the spirits have for me? Other one is, I'd like to know how I can follow my heart and achieve my highest good. Asking these type of questions ensure that you get an in-depth answer from the psychic. So that is... the changes and all those kind of things that you need to make in your life. It is very important for you to clear your mind when you go into a reading. So once you've decided on the psychic, you need to schedule an appointment with them, but on Orhanum, you just go directly live. That's an awesome thing. Make sure you pick a day and time where you have plenty of time before and after the session. Don't go to a session that you want to be rushed or pushed over. This is not going to work. It is important for you to be as relaxed as possible before you attend to a reading. You need to clear your mind of everything. You should do that. That's very impossible. Try to relax in the day going up to the reading by doing deep breathing, meditations, or just ways to basically calm yourself down so you're not all agitated, because a psychic can pick up these things. Having a clear mind ensures that you accept and process your reading while keeping the psychic reader unaffected by your stress and any, disruptions to your energy. That is very important. During a psychic reading, video call, for instance, take notes. The best way to proceed to process everything the psychic says is by taking notes or by recording the reading. Obviously, on Orhanum, we've got transcripts and stuff like that. Sometimes things will arise in the reading that makes little sense at the present, so it will be useful to refer to later on, so that you can just get back. And don't expect everything to be perfect. Okay, don't expect to get 100% accuracy or anything. Although psychics can tap into the alternative realm, remember that not every reading can be 100% accurate. You need to understand that. Sometimes they may hint at information, for example, by getting a glimpse of a name or a symbol, and then you can't really connect to this at this time. But if they do this alongside other useful information, you know it is a successful reading. That is what you need to know about a psychic reading, how to understand it and how to put it together. I hope this has given you a lot of information to process and assist you in understanding the way of a psychic reader. Thank you so much and goodbye.